Okay, just y'all are a couple weeks away from the season starting. Just what can you say about the off-season, how that's gone, and how you feel the team's ready for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I believe that we had a great intentional off-season. Every single year we lose key players, and that's always going to be the case, especially when we're at a small school. And replacing those players are difficult. But these guys right here, these two right beside me, they've had a mission all season long that they're going to perform well. They're going to make sure that the young ones that have to take the place of the ones that graduated, that they're going to give it their all. And they've been great leaders for us, and we've had a lot of records broken in our weight room. We had a great track season, and we're fired up about football. Off season, our summer strength conditioning was good. And I spoke to someone the other day, and they asked me, Coach Ratliff, do you think that we'll be better than we were last year? You know, and that's a question that you get as a head football coach all the time, right? Those are one of those questions you just kind of chuckle when you hear it. And there's so many nuanced answers I could give to that question. But quite simply put, I told them absolutely. These kids have been working hard. But somebody asked me that same question when we started the summer. And I said, I don't know if we will. I said, maybe not. And their eyes kind of got big. And I said, it's because our summer workouts, the kids, we hadn't had as much participation as we needed. Well, a couple of my kids heard that. And they said, Coach, what? I said, hey, man, we're only going to be as good as how hard you work. So guys started calling me. They started getting there in the mornings. They got there in the afternoons after work. They called me to open the weight room when I could. And it's been a big transformation this summer about them being intentional getting there. So I'm excited about it.
Different players, like y'all say about the work y'all have seen from yourselves and the others to be ready, like he said.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we had a bunch of new people coming up and, like, junior hires coming up. We've been all just grinding in the weight room, like me and Nemo. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like he said, we've been all grinding in the weight room. We get everybody. We try to get everybody, to come together and go to workouts and stuff, and we just, be together as a family. And we try to be better than the ones that we had before, and yeah, it's really.
And what being in Corrigan, what can you say about the standard that's set there, not only from now, but going years back, you were a graduate there. What can you say about the standard in Corrigan and how important that is to keep that tradition going?
So the standard, I'll say the standard is like really high, and definitely from being sophomore, freshman, junior, and now being a senior. Now I'll say the standards like really set high. Definitely being a senior and as a captain, having to bring up the younger people, because since we lost couple seniors, yes sir.
Yeah, it's going to be really high. Like you said, coming from junior high all the way to a senior now, it's going to be a high standard. So, yeah.
Yeah, talk about these guys and their roles on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are the anchors, right? It's special when you get to coach a kid on varsity football from the time they're freshmen until they're seniors. That doesn't happen all the time. And it takes a pretty special athlete to do that. But it doesn't take just a special athlete, because athletes, things happen to athletes. These guys are good people. They work hard. They give everything they have. They're great players. They're great teammates. In the weight room, there's nobody that works harder than them. They bench press more than any lineman we have, and we have some linemen that lift a lot of weight, and they lift more. And they've set that standard since they were freshmen. So to have these guys, with me all 4 years has been a blast. I'm going to miss them when they're gone. So I'm going to definitely utilize them while they're still here. We're going to try to make the most out of their senior year. And as far as the standard goes, our standard is always high in Corrigan, Texas, and I hope that never changes. The type of athletes may change, and it has slowly in Corrigan. Certain years more, certain years less, but that's everywhere. But our standard doesn't change. We keep our standard high. We keep our identity in toughness and grit, and as long as we do that, the sky's the limit for us every single year.
Talk about not all the teams in your district change, but we move region and talk about your schedule a little bit and how the district looks, and with that, games we're looking forward to. and I'll probably know which one it is.
I'll let y'all talk about the games you're looking forward to. I'll talk a little bit about the schedule piece. You know, when you open that book, when realignment happens, you're always a little nervous and a little excited at the same time. I opened it up, and you see a lot of the same teams. I mean, we're still playing Centerville, which we played for the district title several years in a row. Leon, we played for the district title last year. You have Normandy, you have our rival, you have Grofton. But we added Iola and Lovelady, which are two quality opponents. There's no doubt. They're very well coached. They're very tough, hard-nosed teams, especially Lovelady. You know, Coach Bird over there, who just was named the athletic director, head football coach. I know him very well because he was a player at Grofton when I played in Corrigan, and he's a tough guy, and he runs a tough program. And so I know those kids are always prepared and ready. Their record has shown that over the past couple of years. So we're excited about the district. But not only did I look at that and say, okay, I see some teams I know in the district, a couple of teams I don't. Well, we're in Region 4. I don't know in the history of Corrigan, Texas, if that's happened. And, you know, we're going to utilize it. You know, I coached in Hondo, America, you know, and right outside of San Antonio, so I am familiar with Region 4 a little more so than some of my other coaches. And I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the change. Sometimes change is good, and we're going to take that opportunity, and we're going to rock and roll with it. Now, as far as games I'm looking forward to, I mean, Grofton's a big game. I'm looking forward to Grofton every single year. I'm looking forward to Hardin, the first game that we play out the box, because they've done so well the past couple of years. I mean, they made a good little run in the playoffs last year, and I want to play against a very hard-nosed team early, and that's who we're going to see early. So that'll kind of give us a good baseline on where we're at.
I'm looking forward to Grofton. You know, it's a rival team, and they always have something against us. So, you know, we got something against them too, and we always you know, ready to go against them because every time we see red, we kill red.
You kill red.
So I'm ready for Centerville because we haven't beat them since 8th grade year in junior high, and I just feel like this year will be the year that we beat them.
And if I had to pick one game, I'm ready to play Leon, to be honest with you. You know, we beat them pretty good 2 years ago and gave us opportunity to play for the district title. We had district title well within our grasp this year when we had to play them, and they came to our place and kind of put it on us and shocked us early, and we couldn't come back and overcome it. Coach Thomas is a good coach over there, so I enjoy playing those guys. So that's the one I'm really looking forward to.
At Georgia Pacific, we make products people often use without thinking, but depend on every day. From household essentials to packaging that powers businesses to the materials that help build our communities. We make them responsibly. We make them with pride. And we manufacture them right here in the U.S. For nearly a century, we've been committed to safe, innovative, and efficient production. Forward-looking stewardship of forests, air, water, and biodiversity, the protection of endangered areas, and investing in the people and places where we live and work. More than an employer, we are a partner and a neighbor. The safety and well-being of our employees and communities where we operate are our highest priorities. From strengthening local economies through job creation to ensuring the sustainable management of natural resources, including healthy forests for future generations. Driven in purpose, ready for tomorrow.
And what can you say about what it means to be a Bulldog? You graduated, you came back, and for y'all personally, growing up with the Bulldogs, and just what can you say about what it means to be a Bulldog?
What it means to be a Bulldog, I'll say family. Like everybody's a family down in Corrigan, and hardworking, and dedicated, supportive. That's what I'll say what it means to be a Bulldog.
Same thing he said. Yeah, it's just family, you know. They always stick around and support you, and even though that you did bad or whatever, they always, you know, be there and tell you got it next time and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just being a Bulldog. It's good. I like it.
You know, being a Bulldog is very important. You know, it molded me as a young man, and obviously has helped build the human that I am today. And it's grounded in toughness. It's grounded in grit. It's grounded in, and I've said it before, it's that alley mentality. You know, if I'm walking down a dark alley by myself, who do I want with me if I see somebody that looks a little troublesome at the very end? Well, I want a group of Bulldogs. I want kids from Corrigan, Texas, because I know that they're going to fight with me no matter what the odds. There might be 20-5. Well, I'm going to take those 5 that are Bulldogs over anybody else. That's the way I see Corrigan, Texas, and that's the way I hope it is in Corrigan, Texas for years and years to come.
What do you say y'all's goals are coming into the year? Team-wise, individual-wise, what are some of y'all's goals for the year?
I'll say the goal is to get the district title this year. Definitely for it being our last year.
Yeah, same thing. You know, district title. We haven't won a district title in how many years?
Long time.
Long time.
Long
So
time.
yeah,
We constantly play for them, Nemo. We have not won one in a long time.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you for reminding me.
so yeah, we got to win that one before we graduate. So
What's your individual goal, Derek?
My individual goal is probably to touch 2,000 rushing yards this year.
You've hit 1,700 2 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's time to go over.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Nemo?
mine is 1,700 yards, a year, and basically, try to do my best on the field and block some people and make Coach Rattler proud.
There we go. Make me proud. Well, if you run for 17 and you run for 2, I think I'm going to be proud. Yeah, our goal, no doubt, is to continue to play for the district title, win a district title. Every year our goal has to be to make the playoffs, and I think that we've exceeded those expectations very well, and we always have here. We're going to have to try to continue to do that, and this will be one of the toughest years in a long time because I think our district is going to be really, really good, and that excites me. That doesn't worry me. It excites me. I like to play tough opponents. I like to play a tough district schedule because I really believe that that's going to prepare us for the playoffs when we do make it. And once we get into the playoffs, I want to make a run. I want to win some trophies, and we've done that a couple of years ago in 2022, and we need to make sure that we do that again this year.
Talk a little bit about some of the strengths of your team and some things. This is kind of a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Strength of my team are these 2 guys right here. Our skill kids, we're very strong there. I think we have a strong running back room. I'm very excited about those guys and being able to tote the rock. And at the end of the day, when you talk about Corrigan identity, Josh, you talk about running the football, right? I mean, and we've been really good at that for a long time, and we'll continue to be good at that. We're going to make our living running the football, and with these 2 guys, I feel confident in that. We have a good young quarterback. I'll say that he's untested, but he definitely knows what we're wanting out of him, and I believe that he'll do well there. Our defense, I believe we're going to be really good. If I had a spot that we got to work on immediately and get better, and it's not because the kids aren't going to be good, tough, hard-nosed kids, it's just because they're inexperienced, is our offensive line. We had some injuries last year and had to put some kids in that were young, so a lot of these guys that are starting now got a little experience later on in the year due to injuries, but they're going to be thrust into that role where they are the guy now, and we're going to have to make sure that they make some headway early in fall camp to get ourselves ready to where we need to be so these guys can rush for those yards if they want to, and we can be successful.
What can you say about the motivation this year? Last year getting to the playoffs, I know y'all ended it before y'all would have liked. Just what was the motivation walking off the field until now where you're 3 weeks away from the season?
I'll say the motivation is because we lost to that same team already before, but then I think this year we're going into like a different region, so we're going to play a different team. So I'm ready for it to go across to the other side and play them teams too.
Mine is since I say we been freshmen on varsity, I think that we never been past first round. So mine is to get past first round and at least try to go to state and Yeah, just we've been losing to the same team over and over, and I'm just getting tired of it. We all getting tired of it, so we gotta at least beat them.
Yeah, I would love to see Garrison in the semifinals, something like that. So, yeah, they're the team that we beat them in 2002, and then they beat us 2 other years. They're 2-1 on us. I'd love to get an opportunity. But I guess my motivations when I walked off the field was twofold. Obviously, I felt we left a lot on the table still. I thought that we were a really good football team that had some issues, with injuries in some very crucial spots late in the season that slowed some momentum down. So I just, when I walked off the field, I felt that we were better than we really showed at the end, and it was no fault to the kids, no fault to really the coaches. It's just football in general. And that's going to happen from year to year in football, and nobody's going to like it, especially me, but that's just the hard realities that you have to swallow. But it's a new year, and we're excited about that, and we're excited about the opportunity. And with all the, the struggles and the strife that we faced last year as a team with losing an athlete, and that athlete, he would still be in school now. He would be a junior with us. And he'd be starting probably both sides of the football. That gives us motivation. It gives us a little perspective too. Every time we step on the field, we smile a little bit more. We're a little bit more excited because we know that it can be taken away from us, and we have firsthand experience of that. So I think that gives us a renewed sense of purpose every single day that we walk on the field.
And I saw, I guess maybe I was just scanning social media, and I saw y'all had his jersey framed in the locker room. What's it mean for y'all, both as a coach and players, to kind of recognize him, remember him, since he would still be going there with you?
Sir, yeah, he was a hard, dedicated player. He always come pick me up from my house so we can go work out. And then every time I needed a ride to go home or come back down to Corrigan to get a workout in, he'll be right there, the first call to make to come pick me up. So yes, sir.
He was like a brother. He, like Derry said, he always came and picked us up. He always been in the weight room with us. He always cracked jokes and stuff, and he always just always loved us. He was like a little brother that I really never had. And on that field, when I felt something in my heart that I just lost somebody, and it just made me mad, and I just wanted to push through. And so till that day, I just always think about him and just want to do it for him, because I knew if he was here, he would want us to do it, and he would want to do it for himself. So yeah, I felt it was important, going into our locker room door right there, right when you walk out of our main hallway there in the field house, going into the varsity locker room. I felt it was important to put his jersey and his helmet there, to pay respects to him. But also, once again, I want those kids to remind them of a great human being that wanted to give everything he could to the program, that loved life, that loved football. But, he was just a good person. And I want them to understand that what we do is special, so they need to enjoy it. So I hope that every day they walk by and they see that, it makes them not sad. I hope it makes them motivated, because they're playing for more than themselves, obviously. They're playing for their parents. They're playing for their community. They're playing for their coaches. They're playing for their school. But they're also playing for their teammates, and there's a teammate that's not with them anymore. So I hope that they play as hard as they can for them every day.
And going to the first game, what's kind of be going through y'all's minds whenever you're there? Are you a senior too?
Yes, sir.
Sure. What's going to be a senior? What's going to be going through your mind? No, this is the last first game that you got.
To go hard, definitely with it being the last first game, and trying to keep a streak of winning all the way through. And then same thing, we lost to that same team last year. I think they lost a couple players. Yes, sir. We're just trying to go in there and get the win.
Like he said, go to our first game. Always, I always try hard, try my best, but make it my last, because like everybody say, you don't know when you can leave or whatever. You know, you can go to heaven anytime. You can, you know, like Danny did. And so I just, you know, want to go on that field and try my hardest, and blood, sweat, and tears everywhere. Man, we got this board on our football field, and it says out hit, out hustle, out last. And that's what I'm going to do on that field.
You know, I tell them every single year. So they've heard it 3 times, they'll hear it again. You know, there'll never be another this team. So there'll never be another 2026 team, ever. You know, they've been a part of all these other teams, but 2026 is theirs. They're the seniors. There'll never be another 2026. So this team is unique, and every team that I've coached is unique. So they have to make the most of this year. They have to give it all that they have. And, yeah, there's definitely nerves going out there, but there's determination. You know, there's excitement. You know, there's nothing like Friday night football. That's why I do what I do. So.